What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Shout out to all the people who were in the live stream that we did earlier today, technically yesterday on the Bitcoin charts, but today, August 13th. It is the 14th of August. If we're looking at the Bitcoin charts here, UTC time, we're about 3 hours, 44 minutes into the new day, 20 hours, 15 minutes left, sitting here at $123.5 thousand. We have made our move up, and we have liquidated a ton of these shorts, man. You guys remember, we've been tracking this 30-day liquidation map, this view here, and there was a large wall of shorts that was being the key word, because now they're gone. They're absolutely decimated, and all that there's left now is just this little tiny existence of a wall, about $1.5 billion worth of longs, or sorry, shorts, up to 125.4K. Bitcoin very well still could push to this 125.4, 126K level. We really could go up there before moving lower, but I do think at this point in time I am starting to consider this as the high that we will move lower from. Now, being up this high does make me reconsider where the lows might be. If we're looking at this from a high to a low perspective here, being that we have closed now one day above the 886, I think the first consideration for support should be itself the 886, something at 121.8K. Now we're at 123.5K. That's not too far away. Really, I mean, even 116K is not too far away, but I doubt that we're going to go down that far, at least at this point in time. The lowest I would give us, being that we're in this phase where I believe we are going to start to extend into these new all-time high zones at 126K, 130K, and beyond. You know, you have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, you have XRP, you have Solana. Hell, even Dogecoin is on its way to seeing new all-time highs, right? You've got a basket of cryptos that are on their ways to magnificent breakouts, stellar lumens. I don't actually even know. I wonder, what did XLM do? Let's see. XLM. Looking at it here. Not really too much yet, but there's a lot of cryptos that are on their ways to seeing new all-time highs. It's that all-time high season. I wouldn't doubt that this corrective move, this little shakeout that I'm anticipating, would be a very short-lived move between now and maybe the end of this week, or now and sometime next week. But I do still think that we're going to go lower. Let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll come back out to the daily time frame, see where we're going, okay? 1 hour time frame here. Come here, Mufasa. It's my cat. We are moving up with a kind of decrease in volume, but it's actually not that bad. The volume isn't really that bad here, looking at it on a 1 hour time frame. I guess you kind of increased here, but that was a pretty big wick nonetheless. Getting overbought in the RSI, nice to see, especially, you know, getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, getting in. That's exactly what you want to see. Here we kind of dipped out of it, tried to dip back in, and found some resistance. Depending on how this 1 hour time frame closes in the next 12 minutes, 31 seconds, it could promote the idea that we go lower. You know, we're only down about $200 this hour, so if we, in the next 12 and a half minutes, if we can come up and close green, or at least neutral to some degree, it doesn't have to be too green, but at least not red, maybe we do push higher rather immediately. But and you'll know by the time we watch this video here, you know, 12 minutes left, I'm probably not going to be still talking about Bitcoin in 12 minutes, but you never know. When this hour closes red, that would imply that we're going lower, because the RSI is coming out of the overbought. So not only that, you kind of gave it a little touchback for resistance. Don't get me wrong, we've done this before and it didn't amount to anything. We've done this before and it didn't amount to anything. But typically, whenever you reject off the overbought zone, it does bring you to lower prices, or at least lower readings, which would generate lower prices as well. Overall, your 1 hour RSI is fantastic. Very, very bullish. Getting overbought time and time again. You're reluctant. You're absolutely afraid of the oversold zone, and altogether you don't really live below the 50 for too long, right? The amount of time that you spent below the 50 is negligible compared to the amount of time that you're above the 50. So we're definitely in a bullish environment right now on the 1 hour time frame. Looking at this on the stochastics, looking like you want to come out of this. You know, if the 1 hour does close red like this, you should be crossing into the band. That's at least good for a move down, you would think, to the 50, if not lower. Typically you go oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. You know, oversold would be the idea there, and that could again promote lower prices that take us maybe down to about 118K, 121K at the least, right? 11 minutes left, though. You never know if we can move up like $200. Wasn't it $200? Now it's 148. So I mean, not even $150 now. Looking at the MACD, very bullish MACD. We do have bearish divergence, yes, technically. But we could build onto that bearish divergence and still continue higher, right? Maybe get that move to 125, 126K, get a wick up there, close slightly higher, get that bearish divergence to further provide itself on the RSI, stochastics, and the MACD. We'll see. I'm kind of expecting that's the high, though. I really am at this point in time. Let's see. I keep saying let's see. High to low. Just above the 1414. Yeah, that's a pretty common rejection point right there. If you go to the 1414, typically you will wick above it and then close below. Going back to the 886, 786 area, very common, and that is the 121.4 to 121.8K area, which lines up very well, very, very well with our 886 from the overall high, our prior all-time high now, to the low of this range that we had on August 3rd there. That 886 literally lines up with this 886 here, and it's absurdly common when doing this kind of maneuver from your 1414 down to find support at the 886 or the 786 or somewhere in between. So 121.4 to 121.8K looking like the likely area to find support. Again, if we go lower, it's not a big deal, but from here, that would imply that Bitcoin drops 1 to 1.7%. That might cause a little bit of a sell-off in the markets, a little shakeout, but we're prepared for that, right? And it might not be as intense as I was thinking it would be, yesterday, 24 hours ago. But we could drop lower, 2% or more. I mean, 120% is very possible. Or 120K is very possible, sorry. 119K is possible as well. And even below these prices here is possible. But we'll see how that goes. Looking at the 4-hour time frame here, that's a pretty bearish candle at the top. And we got 9 minutes left. That is a pretty bearish candle. It's rather foreshadowing of lower prices to come. But we've had a candle like that, and we ate it up on the very next candle. So Bitcoin's being tricky. Don't be swayed one way or the other. But the fact that we've been climbing up here on the 4-hour time frame, the volume is dying off. That does make me think that I'm just making sure. I'm like, is that my 3-year-old crying or my newborn crying? Newborn crying means mom's got it. 3-year-old crying means I gotta get it. 123.4K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1 right now. I would expect that we go lower from here. Absolutely. Consider this like a blemish. How I'd look at it is like a blemish. You're in this trend where you've got higher lows and higher highs, and you're kind of in this channel here, right? Come back into the channel. Find support. You don't have to go all the way to the base of that channel, but 121K, 120K, right around there, maybe a little bit lower, could happen. Or perhaps a grand shakeout altogether. If we do see something larger than that, from a low to a high here, it's completely acceptable for Bitcoin to return to 116.5K, even below 116K, down to the golden ratio. I'm not holding my breath over that, but again, if we went down there, it's completely acceptable. It's not a problem. It would shake things up. It would definitely clear out a lot of longs. And if we're looking at this on a one-day period, over the last 24 hours alone, there are enough longs to get cleared out down to about $118,000, $117,000 that piles up to a $5.2 billion total. There still are a ton of shorts, $1.4 billion in shorts over the past 24 hours, just to get to 125, 126K. Over the past 7 days, though, there's a mountain of longs, an absolute mountain, a tower, all the way down to about 115K. So again, we could go down there. It's not completely impossible, but the higher we are now, I mean, look at that. We are dropping a little bit right now, but the higher we go, the less likely it is. Looking at the daily time frame now, zooming out, thinking ahead, okay? And understand, guys, I'm talking about the bearish stuff, not because I'm bearish on Bitcoin. Some people misunderstand me. They're like, he's bearish now, full send. It's like, no, I've been bullish on Bitcoin this whole cycle. I've been the guy, and I'm not the only guy. There's plenty of us, but I've been the guy that while people have been saying double top, it's the end of the cycle. I'm like, no. We're just in a correction phase. We're gonna move up. It's not the end of the cycle. Double top here, it's the end of the cycle. No, it's not. Double top here, it's the end of the cycle. No, it's not. None of that. Right? I was bullish at the bottom here. I was bullish at the bottom here. I don't remember if I was bullish here or not. Maybe I was momentarily bullish and then momentarily. I can't remember. And I want to say I wasn't. I think I was bullish, not at the bottom, but I was bullish at the top, and then we just maintained that bullishness. But I'm taking a cautious stance. Anybody thinking that I'm bearish right now, I'm not bearish. I'm just taking a cautious stance because the media is euphoric. X.com, your favorite discords, your favorite YouTubers, they are euphoric as well. And why wouldn't we be? We're at new all-time highs, and we're pressing new all-time highs for a bunch of various significant cryptos. In moments like this, sometimes, oftentimes enough, we do get shakeouts, right? It has happened. It's happened during this cycle already, right? Let's go over it real quick. Here, we're breaking out. We've got our high here. We're breaking out to new relative highs, and then boom, we shook out, and it was months before we grew. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but just the thought there. We find our stopping point. Boom, we got a new high. We're going to go. Nope, and then massive shakeout, and then we moved up, right? Here, we got close. This is a longer downtrend and pretty, let's say, disappointing. A pretty disappointing moment, but boring, and that's what you need volatile as well. We got a new high right here. We're tying up this high. Very exciting. And then there, from a high to a low, Bitcoin dropped 9% in less than a week, you guys. It dropped like 9% in less than a week. Here, we got a slightly higher high, and then boom, that's when we corrected. Here, we got a slightly higher high, and boom, we corrected for over a month. I'm just saying, here we are with a slightly higher high. Is it so estranged to be cautious right now? And everybody's euphoric. I saw something. I need to make a video talking about the news because I saw something. I can't remember what it was, but it influenced me to be a little bit bearish. Somebody said that the Play Store... Oh, Coinbase is down. Is that what it is? Is Coinbase down right now? Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up on my phone here. Oh? Oh, is it? Maybe. It's not down, but I don't think I can place buy orders or sell orders. Let me see. Hold on. Wow. Okay, so hold on. Let me double check this. Can I withdraw? Yeah, it'll let me withdraw. Okay, so that's cool. So at least you can withdraw, but that doesn't make sense. Let me see. Can I trade? Maybe it was just the one pair, or because I looked at a pair that I didn't actually have cash in. Let me look at a pair that I have cash in. If I'm going to do this, no, I can sell. Okay, so no, it was just okay. So maybe it was down for a little bit, but it's up now. But there was some other stuff. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. All I'm trying to say, guys, is a little shakeout here wouldn't be a bad thing, even if it went down to 115K, which I know sounds crazy, but it's just looking back at Bitcoin's recent history, this cycle, it's really not that crazy, and I don't think it would be a bad thing at all. I feel the same that you guys feel. I think that it's exciting. It's much more exciting whenever we move up, and I definitely want to see this thing move higher, but I just don't want people to get wrecked and FOMO in at the top. Now, let's talk about stuff that'll make you FOMO. From a high to a low, the cookies are done. High to low, 1272 consolidation like this. Typically, whenever you consolidate right around the 1272 and you don't pull back to these levels, which is, it's extreme. I can't tell you how common it is to pull back to these levels, but Bitcoin just hasn't done it this cycle at all. Very, very bullish stuff, okay? Whenever you see this, typically whenever you get above the 1272, you basically beeline it to the golden ratio, which essentially implies we're here at 123K now on the weekly time frame. Over the weeks to come, we should be seeing prices that are up around 140K. Over the weeks to come, we've got a few weeks left in the month of August. By the end of August, we should be at 140K. We're at 123K now. By the end of August, we should be at 140K. That's for the people who say that I'm bearish on Bitcoin. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Shakeout. And whenever I'm talking about the shakeout again, I'm not saying that we're going to be for months and months consolidating. I think we're in that finale phase right now, you guys. What do I mean by finale phase? I mean consolidation phases are not going to be too much longer than this, right? We could still be in a consolidation phase here. We're breaking out now, but we've got 3 days, 21 hours left in this week. Let's see how this week closes before we get too excited. If this week closes above 121.7K, we are moving up right now to 140K. Okay, absolutely. Or higher. And typically with the golden ratio, Bitcoin likes to go a little bit above it. We'll consolidate. We'll probably find our next little consolidation phase there. And then going into September, the end of September, we should be seeing prices that are anything from, and I would expect this move to only get larger as we continue, anything from about 154 to 160K. If not there, then about 180 to 190K. And that's the ultimate destination that we have before we do see our next kind of multi-month or 6 week or longer consolidation phase going into the end of the year and then pumping into the end of the year and the beginning of next year to multi-$100,000 prices, finishing up this cycle inevitably. I mean, who knows when it'll be, but I'm thinking we will finish this cycle inevitably with a very, very massive finish all the way up at about $500,000. And I don't think it'll look exactly like this. I'm not timing it too properly. The way that I have it drawn there would be out in June. I don't think the cycle is going to last that long, and I don't think we're going to see these small of moves. But the point remains, we're very bullish on Bitcoin. I've been calling for a $500,000 price on Bitcoin since the middle of 2022 or the end of 2022 for this cycle. That's been the expectations, okay, this whole time. It hasn't changed. All right, we're going to $500,000 one way or another. Somebody asked a good question earlier whenever I was doing the live stream. Because the time frame of the market is extending, does that mean that the prices are going to go up higher? I don't think it does. I think it could, right? It really could have if we were moving at the pace that we originally assumed back here. But this pace has been very tame for Bitcoin. So, and obviously I think now we're starting to see signs that these consolidation phases are getting smaller. So we should pick up the pace a little bit, but that's the finale. That's the finale phase, right? I don't think that we're going to see prices that are higher than 500,000 by the end of the cycle. I still very much do expect that by the Q2 of 2026, we will have a bear market. I'm not one of those people who thinks that Bitcoin will never have a bear market again. I just think that it'll have a very tame bear market, right? I'm also not one of those people who thinks it's going to drop 70% or more. Each bear cycle, Bitcoin has been seeing more tame bear markets every single time. And every bear cycle has been about a year long. A little bit more, a little bit less, but about a year long. I think this bear cycle will last it'll be the shortest lived bear cycle that we've ever had. And it'll be probably a less than 65% drop, if not even a less than 60% drop. It'll be very tame on all fronts, but that's way out in the future. I don't know why we're talking about. I guess I know why we're talking about that. We're talking about the long-term stuff, but I got to go check on some cookies. I can smell them, man. They're burning. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Speaking of cookie, man, Cookie Dow. Get it while it's cheap, man. Oh, it's moving up a little bit. Get it while it's cheap, though. All right, bye-bye.